everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is midday in Australia or 1 AM if you're in the UK. If you miss the live streams, you can catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 PM Pacific time in the US, which is 9 AM in Australia or 10 PM if you're in the UK. Sniper Girl and Beck, it's good to see you both. Hi to you, Sniper Girl, and heyo to you, Beck. I hope you both had a great weekend. I hope you're well. I saw your band in the Discord server, Sniper Girl. It's looking very nice. I can't wait to see it textured up. It's going to look really cool. For anyone that doesn't know, Sniper Girl is working on a hobo van. If you want to see it, jump on the Discord server. It's I'll pop the link in Twitch chat here and you guys can join my Discord server if you haven't already. I'm very well, thanks for asking, Sniper Girl. I had a good weekend. I've been designing some chibi characters of myself, so that's what I did over the weekend. I wanted to have a bit of a break from doing photogrammetry stuff, real life 3D stuff, so I did some cartoon chibi characters of myself. So that's what I'm working on at the moment for my personal project, apart from this, of course. Beck says, you're good. How's the modelling coming along? Not too bad. Crosswind, it's good to see you, Crosswind. Thank you. I'm glad you like the scene. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're getting there. We're going to take it and do some texturing soon when we finish doing the modelling of the Rotunda Terrace. Sniper Girl says, thanks. Adding a ton of clutter in the van currently. Pots, pans and everything everywhere. That's the way to go. If it's a hobo van, it's got to be messy inside. And thank you, Sniper Girl. Beck says, van does look good thus far, Sniper Girl. It does, it looks very good. And again, jump in the Discord server, guys and girls. Actually, why don't we show the van? Because why not? So let me grab the link. Copy link. I'll get there, guys and girls. I will get there. Give me a minute. Okay, let us open up Edge and let me drag it into the main viewport. If anyone is new to my channel, doesn't know who I am or wants to know more about me, then you can go to phildoes3d.com and you can read up on me there. This is the van that Sniper Girl is working on. I'm assuming you don't mind me showing your van, Sniper Girl. You put it on Discord, so I'm assuming it's okay. So this is the van. It's looking very cool. Nice clean topology, which is nice. Little ladder here to get up to the roof. What are you going to put on the roof, Sniper Girl? Oh, you're going to put solar panels or something, I think you said? And yes, again, the interior is looking very nice. We've got some spare gas cans here by the look of it. Gas, as you guys in the United States call it. We call it petrol over here. So we've got the gas cans, the messy bed. Just going to grab a drink, guys. I'm going to mute my mic while I do it so you don't have to hear me drink because it's gross. I'll come back in 2 seconds. That's better. It's been very warm over here, so I need to keep myself hydrated. Crosswind says I can give you a reference if you need, Sniper Girl. Okay, Sniper says... Sniper Girl says inside mounted on the roof. Christmas lights, yeah, that'd be cool. Beck says, is your camera larger, Phil? Looks like there's more noise around your chair or something. No, my camera's not larger. I did make some adjustments to the filter for the green screen, for the chroma. Is it looking a bit pixelated? Crosswind? Is it Crosswind that's asking me that? Sorry, Beck. Tell me, Beck, if it looks a bit pixelated and I'll play with the chroma values. Things change with chroma, with green screen. Depending on how bright it is outside, even though I have all of my blinds closed while I stream to try and regulate the light as much as I can, and I have lights behind me and in front of me. If the sunlight changes outside, then that can change the look of the green screen. So it's always a work in progress, the green screen. But the camera's not larger, Beck, no. No Christmas lights, Crosswind says, but I do have the limo lights. Because I think Crosswind says he has a band like this in real life, I think. But he's not a hobo. At least we hope not. Sniper Girl says, I don't mind. Good. Solar panels, a tent bag, and a generator. Sniper Girl says, yep, cool, on the roof, I'm assuming. And storage, okay. Hey, that'll look really cool. It's looking really nice. Do let me know, guys, if my camera green screen is crappy, and I'll fix it. It doesn't look too bad to me in OBS, but like I said. But no, that is looking very nice, Sniper Girl, and like I can't wait to see it textured up. It's going to look really cool. Particularly when you place it in the rest of the scene that you've created, that gas station. Yeah, it's going to look really good, because the gas station's looking great. Nice work. Can't wait to see it. Please show us once you texture it up. Or even once you just add some more bits and pieces to it. Your work in progress. Again, there's a gallery section on the Discord server for you guys and girls to show me your work. I'm always interested in what you guys and girls are working on. So please feel free to pop a link in the Discord. It did look pretty pixely. It did, or it still does? Let me have a look. Let me have a look just for you, Beck. I'll play with my filters live on screen. It's always a good idea. Do it live. Is that any better? I pulled it back a little bit. I had to knock it up the other day because it was cloudy, but it's sunny today, so I pulled it back a little bit. You can't wait to see it, Sniper Girl? You can't wait to get the gas station scene yet? No, it'll look really cool. Crosswind says, yeah, I turned an old conversion van into a camper type deal. I have computers, TVs and everything. Oh, that's really cool. Was going to live in it, but found a good deal on a house and said, that sounds incredibly cool. Computers and TVs and stuff in there. Wow. It is like the Scooby van. Sniper Girl says, that would be fun. That fixed it. Good to hear. Thanks for telling me, Beckett. If there's ever a problem, like my music is too loud for you guys, you can't hear me, or there's a problem with the camera, please let me know. I mean, I don't know unless you tell me. And I want to make sure the stream is as good a quality for you guys as I can. Particularly because all my videos go to YouTube too, so it's important to me that you tell me. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Beck. Are you talking about copyright? Are you talking about the Scooby van? Is this what we're talking about? Can you give the Scooby-Doo paint job? And Sniper Girl was asking, I think, about if it would be breaking copyright. I don't think if you just do the paint job, you'd break copyright. No, I think you'd be okay. I think you'd have to take more than just the paint job to break copyright. But I'm no lawyer, so don't do it, then come bitching to me if they come after you, but they shouldn't. Crosswind says, I'd post pics on the Discord, but don't know if there's a channel for that sort of thing. You can post it in the gallery if you want, Crosswind. That's okay. Any sort of pic that you want to post, you can post in the gallery. It doesn't have to be just of your own work. I'm pretty lenient that way. The only time I take exception is if you start carrying on a conversation that goes for, lines and lines and lines in the gallery. That's what the general chat is for. So if you want to chat, do it in general. If you want to show an image, do it in the gallery. Sniper Girl says, okay, then maybe you really wasn't thinking of making a Scooby-Doo theme. Well, you don't have to, Sniper Girl. Just because these guys are talking about it doesn't mean you've got to do what they say. You do what you want. It's your model. You do what you want to do. But it would look cool. I have to admit, it would look cool. Scooby-Doo's a classic cartoon, so... I haven't seen an episode for a while. They don't tend to play it much anymore. I don't know why. Or maybe they just play it when I'm asleep or something in bed because I don't get up on the weekend that early. During the week I do, but not on the weekend. You know, Sniper Girl? Good. What were we doing? What was I going to say? Now I've lost my train of thought, which doesn't take much for me. Oh yes, I was talking about my chibi. I'm doing my chibi characters. I'm doing them in 3D, by the way. I'll give you guys a sneak peek, actually. Why not? Let's look at this chibi. No, let's look at chibi 6, which is this one. So yeah, I'm designing myself as a chibi because I thought, why not? But I'm actually doing it in 3D, even though this looks 2D. A lot of it is 2D, but the actual character and the tablet here are actually 3D. So I can pose the character and render it out in 3D and then bring it into Photoshop to make it 2D. It's adorable. Thank you, Sniper Girl. I thought I had myself holding my Wacom pen here with my Wacom tablet in front of me. Yeah, so why not? I'm going to do a couple of characters in different onesies. This one's a wolf. I'll probably do one of me in like a dragon costume and maybe one in a platypus costume because a platypus is an Australian animal. So we'll see how we go. We should make an emote. Yeah, I don't know how well. I probably could. I'd have to cut down on the detail a lot on the character, but yeah, I might do that. We haven't changed our emotes. I only get 3 emotes as an affiliate, unfortunately. So I don't have unlimited emote slots like partners do. We'll see how we go. I might whack it on a t-shirt, actually. But I just wanted to do something that was a little bit different from what I do every day in my work and what I'm doing here at the moment. Even though I love what I do here in 3D, I still was in 3D making my chibi, so that was cool. I still do 3D. I'm still doing 3D. It's just a different sort of type of 3D. Beck says, this is the only emote we need. That's right, you only need the Fildo Love emote. Just the Fildo Love. Show the love. Can be used for so many different things. Even though that uses my old, what's the word I'm looking for? Robo Egg. That's the old version. I've redone the Robo Egg, but the new version wouldn't fit in a tiny little emote anyway properly, so I'll stick with the old one. They're very similar. Really, the only change is the reflection on the dome at the top, and the dome is grey, dark grey now, not black. But anyway, I digress. Quick Draw says to Sniper Girl, just a suggestion, but you might consider terminating some of the edge loops in your model. Quick Draw, why were you timed out? You're posting links. Okay. Yeah. Don't post links in Twitch chat, guys and girls, unless you're a sub. Do it in Discord. Everyone can post a link in Discord, but only subs can post links in Twitch chat. But I will copy your link and I'll post it for you, Quick Draw. So if you do want to click the link, that's the link that QuickDraw popped in the chat. It's no problem. I know it's easy to forget, guys, so, you know, I'm not angry or anything. It happens. You forget. So that's cool. I just want to keep telling you guys. I don't say it often enough, probably. Unless you're a sub, do not post links in Twitch chat. Do it in Discord. Because Nightbot can be really a naughty, nasty little bot, and if you do it often enough, he'll time you out longer and longer and longer. He's doing it out automatically. I have no control over him. Well, I don't log into my bot while I stream. Need Fildo Love 2, Beck says. Yes, hi to you too, Quick Draw. It's good to see you. Did you have a good weekend? Snappy Girl says, edge loops wise, was going to do it, to be honest, just want to figure out where I want to go with it currently. Yeah, that sort of optimization stuff can be done after you've got the initial design sort of down pat. At least I find it easier to do it that way. Some people like to do it as they work, which is a good way to do it. But I'm one of those people that generally does that optimization sort of stuff at the end. Once I've got everything in place, it's easier to work out where you want things and what you can remove and all that sort of stuff. But again, it gets back to what I said to you guys all along. There's 10 different ways to get to the same result in 3D, and everyone's way is different. They all come together in the end, so. Beck says, I need to replace Nightbot with Philbot. I do have a Phildobot, actually. I have created one. It's what I use for my chat client here. He controls the interaction between Discord and my Twitch chat. My Phildobot. He's even got his own Twitch page, would you believe it? So if you search for Phildobot on Twitch, you'll find his Twitch page. And I had to set that up that way because I need a separate Twitch account just for the bot to control my main Twitch account. It gets confusing. So my Phildobot even has his own Twitch. Quickdraw says, not bad, just finished up high poly on a project I'm working on. Cool. I like working in high poly. It's easier. Low poly work is a challenge. It really is, which is why a lot of my work is photogrammetry stuff, so it's generally high poly anyway. When I worked on the Looney Tunes game, though, I had to work in low poly because it was a cartoon game. Man, was that challenging. Snappy Girl says, yeah, true, usually optimize things just prior to UVing. Yeah, that's generally the way I do it too. You want to do it before you UV because the fewer the polys, the easier it is to UV map. Post in gallery. What do you want posted in the gallery? Legmog, it's good to see you, Legmog. How are you? Look who's here. That's right, it's Legmog. Legmog has arrived. It is good to see you, buddy. How are you? How did the contract go at the studio? I know you were having some issues with them wanting you to work back really late and all that sort of stuff last time I spoke to you, so how did it all go? And how you been? Did you have a good Christmas, New Year? I don't think I've spoken to you in the new year yet, so it's good to see you. And I'm not sure, Quickdraw says, you posted your work in progress in the gallery. Okay, sorry, Quickdraw, let me have nice. Very nice. Let's have a look at this. Now, this is a work in progress that Quickdraw is working on. And it's a car, but it's a very nice car. Very nice. I love the detailing. Detailing's great. Down to the grill, it looks amazing. Really amazing. And the interior is looking wonderful. Beautiful work. Legmog says, yes, it's been a long time. I've kept on getting hired and forced into a respectable 9-to-5 lifestyle. Oh no! Legmog, come on, there's 9 to 5. You don't want to become one of those automatons that works 9 to 5, comes home, goes to sleep, gets up, goes to work. Kidding. We all have to do it. But it's good you've been getting a lot of work, Legmog, that's good. Now you got to create the low poly cage quick draw. Yep. Well, it's looking amazing. I love the detailing you put into it. It looks outstanding. It looks great. Really nice. I like the car too. What car is it based on? An actual car? Again, I'm not a rev head, guys. I'm not into cars like most guys are. But I'm just curious because I do like the car, the design of the car. Legmog says, been kind of flat out since the end of October. I finally got to be gainfully unemployed. I must be the only person on the planet to be thankful about. No, you're not. You're not. I'm sure you're not. Don't worry. But it's good to hear you having a bit of a break now because people don't understand when you're a designer, whether you're an animator, a 3D person, even just a graphic designer doing 2D stuff even. Being creative on demand is hard. It is hard work. people think it's easy, but it's hard to be creative on demand. It really is. When you've got a deadline and the client says, I want it, you know, or the studio, your boss at work says, I want it by this date, having it ready in time can be really stressful. So, yeah, I understand, Legmog. Having a break sounds good. Legmog says, most recent job was for the Holy Father himself, the Pope. So I had my place in heaven. So I hope my place in heaven is now guaranteed. We did some work for the Pope. Wow, you're coming up in the world. It's okay. Quick Draw says it's a Bugatti Divo 2019. Very nice car. But again, kudos to you for the actual modelling work because it looks amazing. And the interior I love as well. You must show us when you've, are you going to be texturing it up? I'm hoping. It's great to model, but texture too, guys. It's really important. Come back and show us when you've finished doing some more work on it. It looks great. Quick Draw says 5.8 million polys. Well, that's pretty good for 5.8 million polys, actually. When you consider the amount of detailing you've got going on the interior here, I can understand that. Nice smooth surfaces everywhere, which is good. You guys know my bugbear is a hard surface, is a sharp angle on a surface, which is really unnatural. Sniper Girl says, I honestly can't wait to be creative on demand. You say that now. Trust me though, when it's after a few years of being creative on demand, it's incredible. That's why I go away halfway through the year to my cabin in the woods, my retreat. I need to recharge. I'm exhausted. It's really difficult. So good luck to you if you can do it and not be exhausted by it, but I can't. Quick Draw says $5.8 million for $5.8 million for the car. Sorry, Quick Draw. Wow, you serious? 5.8 million? Wow. Jeez. Are you having a go? Is it really $5.8 million for the car? Do you have to spend $5.8 million for this Bugatti? If that's the case, then that's outrageous. I'm sorry, but that's outrageous. Well, that is incredible. Who would spend that sort of money? I could think of much better uses for close to $6 million. Even though it's a beautiful car. I mean, it is, but... Sniper Girl says, we'll take it. Will you take a check? A check or an IOU? Well, yeah, either one of those work for me as well. It'll probably bounce. Yeah, mine definitely would bounce. Wow, that's incredible. If it's close to $6 million to buy this car, then wow. There are people on this planet with way too much money then. That's what that tells me. Way too much money than they know what to do with. Okay, what's going on in Discord here? Beck, what are you posting? I love it. Beck just posted a meme here in Discord. You guys check it out. And Legmog, you posted a link as well. What are you linking to? Legmog says, I've also been using new Apple True Depth camera technology to do automated facial tracking animations. I'll post a rough video link in Discord. It's really only rough, shoddy looking thing. Beck says, sorry, some 3D memes just slip. No, that's very funny. Let me have a look, Legmog, at this camera tech you're talking about. Well, this demo for what you've been working on. That's really cool. It's going to put you out of work, Legmog. That's not true. It's really cool. So obviously the camera is controlling the actual expression of the character. Very cool. It is creepy. Sniper Girl says it's cool but creepy. Because character facial animation is incredibly complex and difficult to generally do. So that's very cool. The last studio I worked at in games, we used motion capture to do full body capture for characters. The animators, though, then still went in and did the facial stuff. They tweaked all that by hand. Even the motion capture, though, that they took from the character, the animators, still had to be cleaned up because it generates huge amounts of data that then all the keyframing and stuff needs to be cleaned up after the fact. So there's still work for animators, don't worry. Even with all this technology now taking over the world and AI. Beck says the CG looks more like you than you do, Legmark. Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. How are you, buddy? Did you have a good weekend? That's incredibly cool, though, Legmark. The tech's, we were talking about it last week too, and we were talking about photogrammetry, and a lot of 3D guys are really worried about photogrammetry taking their job. Now, and I said to you guys, it's not going to take your job so long as you can be creative. AI and computers can never be creative. I mean, not really. They can draw a picture, but it's not very good. So even if you're doing photogrammetry work, so long as you don't just photograph an object, turn it into a 3D model, and call it a day, then you'll still find work if you take that object and create something new with it, like we're doing here. So we're taking bits of photogrammetry and we're creating something completely different out of them. That sort of creative work can't be done on a machine or by a machine. Legmark says, yeah, the thing is based on AR technology made by Apple, augmented reality that is, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know. It's based on about 50 plus blend shapes created by Apple. And for every frame, the camera scans your face and cross-references your face against all 50 blend shapes and figures out what percentage of each blend shape is being applied. Sounds very cool. Legmog says, so you just have to recreate every single blend shape with whatever 3D model you want, and you can transfer your facial data to that object. Very cool. It's the reason the games now are getting incredibly realistic is because this tech has improved leaps and bounds over the years. Processors have gotten faster, cameras have gotten better, AI has gotten much smarter. So all these things combined make games look much more realistic now. Not just games, of course, anything CG related. Quick Draw says, what would you say is more accurate, photogrammetry or 3D scanning? Well, 3D scanning is more accurate. Photogrammetry is accurate to a certain degree, to a certain point, but for the most accuracy, laser scanning LiDAR is the most accurate. You'll get the most accurate results with LiDAR, with laser. Photogrammetry can get you close, but not as close as laser. But of course, laser rigs are much more bulky. I mean, they've come down in size. You can buy very small handheld ones now, but most of them are still pretty large, and they're difficult to. Well, they're a pain to set up. They take longer to scan than doing photogrammetry. So, photogrammetry is much more accessible and easier than LiDAR. Android Loss says 3D scanning is probably more, 3D laser scanning is more expensive as well. To buy the equipment to do that is incredibly expensive. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. That's for the base laser stuff. You can go way up and up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars for really top-end stuff. It's used a lot in archaeology. They use laser scanning a lot in archaeology to get accurate models of the digs that they're working on and that sort of thing, or the objects that they actually take out of the ground. They scan them in. Well, Quick Draw says they cost about $6,000. Yeah, you can get into it for under $10,000, but most of it is over $100,000 for the professional pro stuff. Not that you can't get bad results with the cheaper stuff, but yeah, not as cheap as photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is the cheapest because it's just a camera. So it will always be cheaper to do it through photogrammetry, and unless you need incredibly accurate results, machining results or archaeology sort of thing, laser scanning is over the top for most people's needs. We don't even use it at the studio that I work at, and we do a lot of photogrammetry stuff where I do. Well, not just me, but we don't even use it there. We use drones and photogrammetry. So it works well enough for what we need it, accurate enough for what we need it. QuickDraw says, I was reading that you can use the Kinect sensor. You can, or the Xbox 360 to 3D scan. Probably not the best result. Yeah, you can. I've seen the results. I haven't played with it myself, but I have looked at it. You certainly can use a Kinect sensor from a 360 to do 3D scanning, but it is not very good. It's very blocky. Low resolution, because the camera in the 360 sensor is very low res. If you could buy a Kinect that had a huge megapixel camera in it, then you'd be fine. But yeah, but you can. Again, if you've got an old 360 and a Kinect sensor, there's an open source project on the net you can download to try out some 3D scanning that way for free if you want. Oh, the sun just went down, so the room got really dark. Freaked me out. And you see what's happened to my green screen there? I can see it myself. Because the sun has gone down, now you can start to see my green screen behind me. I've got to make an adjustment. I'll probably have to change it again when the sun comes back out. Okay. Fun and games with a green screen. Legmonk says, yeah, one thing I'm kind of against a lot of these days is if students and whatnot who will try and prove their skills by attempting to make a very realistic version of a celebrity, like Brad Pitt. Yeah, I've seen those too. But I question how relevant this is to be able to do that. Yeah, that's very true. If a CG artist on a film with Brad Pitt and they want a CG double, they would just do a 3D scan on his face or something to get an absolutely accurate model, because that's exactly right. It's good practice, though. I don't want to discourage those guys and girls that like to model up celebrities. It's good. Any modeling you do is good practice. Doing it by hand to get an accurate likeness is never a bad thing. But in a commercial environment, you won't generally do that. I mean, yeah, generally you won't. Unless you don't have access to the actor for whatever job you're doing. That could be the only reason I would see it. Like, I know when I worked on the Mad Max game, we didn't have the actor, so the character artist actually had to create the actor himself. So he did the actor manually by hand. But if you're on a film set, like you said, they will scan the actor and they'll use that. They do it now. They've done it for years. That's what they do. You don't get a character artist to model the actor. The reason you would get the character artist to do hand modelling would be to take that scan of the actor and then to do some sort of effect on the face, like maybe half his face is blown off or something like that. That's where the character artist would then take that scan and work their magic by hand. But you're absolutely right, Legmog. Green screen police Beck is. Well, now the sun has come back out, so I'm going to change my green screen back, knock it back down again. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to where we were, unless the sun goes away again. QuickDraw says, that's the Matrix, we're losing Phil. That's right. I've taken the blue pill, or is it the red pill? I can never remember. Is it? I think it's a blue pill, isn't it? QuickDraw says, likeness to Legmog, likeness sculpts are very challenging to do, so it's more of a demonstration of the artist's skill and attention to detail. Yeah, and again, that's what gets back to what I just said. It's more for the artist to show how good they are than anything. Because in a commercial environment, you will use a scan of the actual person. Look, the sun's gone down now. I'm gonna set it to a happy medium for when there's sun and when there's no sun. There we go. I promise I won't mess with it anymore. You're going to give me a ticket, Phil? It's not my fault, it's the sun. I don't know what to do. The sun keeps going out behind clouds and coming out, and, you know, I live in Australia, you know. The sun is very bright here. It changes the lighting in the room so much, even with every blind closed in my apartment here, down where I'm streaming. Legmonk says, yeah, I guess I'm kind of feeling that these days of a client saying, okay, I want a 3D version of some dude, here's a photograph of his face, and from the front and sides go make it, are kind of starting to become a thing of the past. Again, I'm not a character artist, and so I don't speak from experience, but I think you might be right. It's the same for 3D guys that do hard surface, where a client says to you, what example can we use? Here is this object that I'm selling. Can you recreate it in 3D? You know, it could be a widget for a company, you know, that widget word. So that sort of thing is coming to an end, I think, as well, because photogrammetry is taking over from that. So the days where you do that sort of thing by hand are pretty much disappearing quickly. That's where the creativity comes in. You see, anytime any of these areas of work, whether, like I said, it's graphic design or animation, character work or hard surface modeling, it all comes down to your creativity. That's what will keep you employed and keep you employable. So, yeah, so long as you add some creativity to the stuff you're doing, then you'll be okay. We've all got to adapt. I mean, there are jobs now that disappeared because of automation, you know, and the people that didn't adapt lost their job and had problems. But so long as you occasionally think about this sort of stuff and try and change your work in some way that makes the impact on you a bit less, then you'll be okay. It's important. It's just like programmers. They always constantly have to learn new scripting languages, learn new programming languages, even though you have the staples like C++ or C#. There's always new scripting languages being invented, and if you're a programmer, you can't sit on your laurels and think, well, I know my C# or C++, I'm fine. Listen, you may be, but not forever. You've always got to keep learning new stuff, always. It's exhausting, but you got to. And the older you get, the more exhausting it becomes. Beck says, it's not my fault every person in a traffic stop. I'm just going to have a look at this meme that Beck has posted in Discord. Crosswind. Okay, Crosswind posted a link. Let me have a look at this. This is the back of Crosswind's van. We were talking about Sniper Girl creating that Scooby-Doo van. Well, that band like Scooby-Doo. And Crosswind says that he has a real van like that. And this is a picture of the back of Crosswind's van. Cool. That's so cool. Even down to the 3 screens. I like it. Wow. That's really cool. And obviously you can close this back up and it goes back inside of here, yeah? That's really cool. Legmonk says, like, looking at that Apple facial recognition stuff, it's like, dang, this shit makes manually keyframing lip movements a thing of the past. I'm assuming you're still going to have to... actually, again, I don't know. If you're using blending, then maybe not. I do know with motion capture, though, it used to create thousands of keyframes that the animator then had to go through and clean up. That was general motion capture. But even that, you know, where animators don't have to animate by hand anymore, you can motion capture a character and 3/4 of your work is done. And Logmug says, thank God for that too. Yeah, I want one of these vans too. That looks really cool. Android Lost says, I need that. Crosswind says, that was early in the build, right before I had the solar hooked up. And Quickdraw says, to Legmog, most character artists work with a base mesh and have a concept or photograph on a second monitor and recreate the facial gestures. 3D scans are not commonly done because they are expensive and most studios don't have access to such technology. A lot of animators too have a little mirror stuck to the side of their screen or somewhere around their desk, so when they're doing their mouth movements they can look at themselves in the mirror to copy their facial gestures. I notice that a lot too in the studio with animators. They love their little mirrors. Or they video themselves. I had a friend of mine video himself when he was doing get-ups, like the character getting up from the ground. So he got his video camera, set it up, lay on the ground and did the get-up, and so he could then take that into Max, and I think he was using Max. Or was he using Maya? Anyway, one of those 3D programs, so he could copy the get-up movement. And he did it very well. Crosswind says, only pic I had in the daylight. What is that? Oh, you're taking a lot at night, are you? What's going on in the back of this van here, Crosswind, at night? You're taking so many pics at night. And I just want to check the meme here that Beck posted. You're a programmer? Yeah, I know Java pretty well. Wow. Can you make me a game? One does not simply make a game. No, I love that, Crosswind. That is classic. And that is so true. That is so true. People really don't understand. They think a game is easy. How hard can it be? You're a programmer, you know JavaScript, make me a game. JavaScript is cool, by the way. I love JavaScript. I do love it. It's part of HTML5. Let's get back into my web development days now. So HTML5 is CSS3 and JavaScript put together. That's what they call HTML5, really. It's a bit more than that, but that's the gist of it. So or Web.2.0, whatever they're calling it. It's been a while for me since I've done web development. Crosswind says, I used to work back there, had all the lights and whatnot. Okay. I was kidding, Crosswind. I'm not inferring anymore. I'm just being cheeky. Quickdraw says, Crosswind, that looks like a cozy. It does. It looks really cool. And I love the fact that you can close it all back up in that little section. Push it all back in there. It's very cool. Good use of space. And I love the fact you've got 3 screens. I think that's great. 3 screens in the back of a van. That's cool. Let me set up. It's catching up with Discord here. Bex posted another meme here in the general chat. Time spent working on a 3D model, actually working on the model. Nonsensically spinning and moving around the model. I love that one too, but you guys jump into Discord to see it. Beck, when Phil says a bad word in stream. I like that actor, actually. I think I recognise him. Is he the guy that was in Guardians of the Galaxy? I can't remember his actual real name. Guardians of the Galaxy movies, very cool. Love those movies, both 1 and 2. Legnock says, well, Phil, I'm looking at this setup you've made here and I'm not seeing any kitchens or toilets. Funny how the more things change, the more they stay the same. Where would I put a kitchen or a toilet here, Legmog? You know, we've got our pond here on the inside. So, what, should I stick a toilet here so I can flush into the pond? Cheeky bugger. We're going to go, actually, I'm planning on revisiting the House on the Hollow, the UE4 project that we did, putting in a kitchen and putting in a bathroom and putting in a bedroom, because you guys didn't realise I didn't have a bedroom in there either, so the poor people that were in that place couldn't sleep anywhere. They had to sleep on the ground. There were lots of couches around though, so I guess it wasn't too bad. Yeah, because we revisit that project, I can do optimization if I turn that level into a game. That's the plan later on in the year, maybe. See how I feel. And Crossman says, thanks, yeah, that was a blast that when I used it regularly, could work from anywhere. Yeah, no, it sounds really cool. Chris Pratt, thank you very much, Beck. Chris Pratt, that's his name. I think you're right. Guardians of the Galaxy, great movie, both 1 and 2. Love those movies. Really visually nicely done as well. The effects were really, really nicely done. You know, it's funny, I watched The Hobbit again the other day, and some of the visual effects in that, while beautiful, again, done by a studio in New Zealand. Beautiful. Some of them were really iffy. Watching it again now, you can look at some of the action sequences, and some of them are a bit iffy. But I couldn't pick anything at fault in Guardians of the Galaxy. The visuals on that were outstanding. Not that I'm dissing. I can't remember the director's name. Isn't that terrible? He's a New Zealand guy. Peter Jackson. Even I'm not dissing Peter Jackson's studio. They do great work. But I did notice a couple of this action sequence special effects were not great. The whole thing is an elaborate toilet, that's right. You sit your bottom over the edge here, and you press a button that's on the back of one of these columns to flush the pond. Legmog says, Legmog says, Beck says you need to reserve a year if you go back to that. That was still it was a big, look, it did take me a long time, guys, but I could only work on it 4 hours a week. That's why it took so long. It was a big project though, like it was a full-on environment and a full-on building, fully furnished, nearly fully furnished. No kitchen, no bathroom, no bedroom. So it was a big project. It did take a long time. If I come back to it to make it into a game, I'm going to have to extend it a little bit because you can't have a game based on one building. So I'm going to have to put something else out into the forest there. And I've also got to optimize the level because I didn't design it as a game. So a lot of the models need optimizing, the textures need optimizing to bring back on the draw calls and stuff. But I thought it could be fun to show you guys how you would go about optimizing a level like that if you wanted to make it into a game. Put a kitchen and toilet in to stop you guys from bitching. We'll see how we go. We'll see how bored I get with what I'm working on at the moment. So I'm not promising I'll do it, but I may come back to it and I may turn it into a game. Beck says you'll need to receive. Yeah, it was a big project. Legmark says the Hobbit. Oh God, that shot in the last film where Legolas is on the collapsing bridge thing and he jumps up and falling debris. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. As if it was steps. People literally laughed in the cinema how terrible it was. Worst special effects shot in cinema history. I wouldn't go that bad. I wouldn't go that far, Legmark, but. Yeah, there were a lot of shots like that. There's a lot of shots if you watch the film where if there's a wide shot and a character is trying to jump on the back of like one of those wild dogs or something else, if a character is jumping on an animal, it looks incredibly fake and really bad. So anything, any character movement like that wasn't done great. The other effects, though, were beautifully done. Like the dragon was beautifully done. The interior effects inside of the dwarfs' home, where the dragon was, that was all beautifully done. Lake Town, the town that was outside on the lake, that was all nicely done. So the environmental shots were beautiful. The dragon character stuff was beautiful, but some of the action sequence shots were not great. Certainly not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy anyway. Quickdraw says they used a lot of older special effects like creature miniatures, the same stuff they did in Star Wars. Well, it doesn't work. Don't do it. Not in this day and age. You've got enough computing power. You've got enough software that you can use it where you don't have to resort to that sort of fakery anymore. That sort of manual fakery. Do it digitally. Do it properly. That would be my advice to you, Mr. Jackson. I'm sure Mr. Jackson really cares what I have to say. Legmog says, I honestly could not believe that they didn't look at that Legolas jumping up on debris and think, oh, let's just cut it out because it looks horrendous. I can understand why they wanted to keep it in the film because as an action sequence, it's really interesting and really cool. But the implementation was not so cool. Yeah. And we're talking about a film that wasn't made that long ago, so they don't have the excuse that, it was made 10 years ago, the technology wasn't there. They do have the technology now, they could have done it better. But hey, listen, all of this stuff is easier said than done. It's okay for us to sit here and bitch about it, but, could we do a better job? I certainly couldn't. So I want to take a step back here and not be too hard on them. But it didn't look great. I have to admit, it did not look great. Beck says, did you know the dragon's first roar you hear is actually the sound designer's daughter roaring? And no, is that true? And then edited? No, I did not know that. I know that Mr. Cumberbunch, that English actor, did the voice for Smaug, the dragon. But I was not aware of that. Android Lost says, just watch that collapsing bridge scene on YouTube. Yeah, it's funny looking. Legmog says, okay, I amend my previous statement. I now say it's the worst visual effects shot in a flagship $100 million production from a major Hollywood studio in the past 5 years. Well, that is true. Let's not forget it was Warner Brothers and Peter Jackson's studio. Is it called Weta Digital? I think it might be called Weta, W-E-T-A. They spent a lot of money on that film, so they could have done a better job. That's very true. That is very true. Even if you've got to outsource it, if you can't do it in-house at your own studio, then send it out to some other studio that does that, specialises in that sort of stuff. He could have done that. Maybe he did do that and they just did a bad job. I don't know. Beck says it's true. Well, there you go. I did not know that at all. Well, there you go. And I've done absolutely nothing. An hour into my stream. Okay. Let's look at this. I think the first thing I need to do is I'm just going to isolate this fence section because I forgot to chamfer the edges of these metal pieces at the top and the bottom. Oh, and I have to point out too, I think last week, guys and girls, I said to you each of these pieces of wrought iron were 80,000 polys. That's incorrect. They're about 3,000 polygons. Remember I said, they're 80,000 polys, we better not use too many of them. I don't know, I think they may have been originally 80,000, but after I optimised them, they're about 3,000 polygons. So there you go. So I thought I'd make that clear. Because I do want to use them a little bit more now inside the level, inside of the object, the design. Now that they're not 80,000 polys, only 3,000 polys. Quickdraw says, found a toilet that will work well for your scene. Check general. Okay. Oh, Quickdraw, let me have a look at this. Okay, I'm convinced I'm not going to get nothing done today. Oh wow. Maybe you could take pride of place up here on this lower terrace in between the two columns. So you have to walk up past the toilet. Although I think the toilet might be a little bit too big for the scene. Quick draw. And Legmog's just posted a video of the scene that we're talking about in the Discord server. You guys check that out. I don't want to play it on stream. I don't want to be hit for copyright. And Beck. Oh, wow, Beck, that's great. Where did you get that? Beck has just posted an image as well. Again, guys and girls, join the Discord server. They're all very friendly. They have a lot of fun, and you can see things like this, which is just amazing. I love it. That is so creepy. Major creep. Oh, very nice, Beck. What's going on here? What's this crosswind? Oh, this is another picture at night. Okay, cool. Let me have a look at this. So this is Crosswind's van at nighttime. I should move my stream to just chatting. That does look very cozy and really cool. You lay back there and play a game. Well, it looks like you've got some, you're doing some gambling here. You got the slots. Are they a slot machine type thing? Again, I'm not big on gambling, so I'm not up on the lingo. But that does look really cool. I love the lighting too. Nice and cozy. Nice. The amount of icons on the desktop, Beck says, is killing his OCD. I'm the same. A friend of mine is worse. Imagine this screen here, but with the entire screen full of icons. That's a friend of mine's desktop. And I look at his desktop and I think, Jesus, that would drive me nuts. You know, I keep everything minimal and clean. The only icons on my desktop are shortcuts to my hard drives because it would drive me nuts. I couldn't find anything. It would take me half an hour to go through and look for what I wanted to click. But again, a friend of mine is like this, but completely covers the entire desktop with icons. So I get it. Your work laptop's a disaster, Crosswind says. Okay, I think I'm caught up now. I think I'm caught up with Discord. Legwog says, inspired by Android Lust, I too rewatched The Sea. My God, it gets worse every time viewing it. Well, when I first watched The Hobbit, I knew something was a bit off, but I enjoyed the film so much I got caught up in it, I didn't really analyse it. But after watching it again recently, I analysed it a lot more, and I noticed all of these terrible visual effects in different parts of it, which surprised me. I'm surprised I didn't pick up on it the first time I watched it, but I think it's because it's not all the way through the movie. Most of the effects are really well done. Just a couple of them here and there are really bad. Beck says 80k each, glad they are lower. Legmark says, okay, I posted it in general. Yeah, okay, well, I'm catching up with chat here because I've been reading Discord. The Crosswind says, yeah, I was watching a guy on YouTube play slots. Slow work day. Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with a bit of slots. The old slot machine. Okay, back to this. Let's get some stuff done. Well, have I grouped this? I have. Let me open up the group. Legmark says, I feel bad. There's a 10-minute behind-the-scenes video on YouTube, and the entire thing is basically an apology video from Peter Jackson saying, sorry, everyone, I had no time to figure this out and had to make shit up totally on the fly as we shot. Hey, well, he wouldn't be the first. I've worked, you guys know I've worked in film, so I know what goes on behind the scenes on some of these film shoots and movies. You'd be surprised how much shit is made up on the spot. So I can feel for Mr. Jackson. He's not alone. So even he recognised it. It would have surprised me if he'd seen it and thought it was good. Because, I mean, you know, anyone can look at it and notice that it's not great. But it doesn't detract from the whole movie. The movie's a good movie. The story's a good story. That's the important thing. And these things are easier said than done as well. It's easy to criticise, it's hard to do. So we shouldn't fall into that habit of being too critical of everyone's work, because it's much more difficult than you think. Okay, now I haven't UV mapped these either, and I haven't chamfered the edges, so let's do that before we do anything. I'm just going to use the standard chamfer, not the quad chamfer modifier. I'm going to give it 3 segments. I'm going to zoom in here so I can see it a little bit better. Don't want to chamfer it up too much. I'm just having a look at what's going on here. There's something a little weird. Oh no, it's okay. It was just the angle I was looking at it. It made it look a bit strange. Actually, no, I think there is something strange going on. Legmog says, to be honest, if I ever were to rewatch the Hobbit trilogy, I'd just skip those first 2 films. In my opinion, they go nowhere and take forever getting there. Although you can't skip the second one, because the second one has the dragon in it, but the dragon's not in it till the very end. So you might be right. The last film has most of the dragon, I guess, in the beginning of it. So, yeah. You could say the same thing about the Lord of the Rings as well, really. It doesn't get mega exciting until the last film. But if you're going to watch them, you've got to watch them all. Actually, I think what the problem here is it's doing a chamfer on all the edge loops, and that's not what I want. So I think what I need to do here is I'm going to throw down an edit poly. I'm just going to turn on edged faces for a minute. Yeah, see, that's the problem. It's because I have all these extra edge loops I don't really need. So I'm going to remove that edit poly, and I'm going to pull down on the height segments because we don't need that many. So now when I do a chamfer, I'm still going to have to make selections because otherwise it's going to chamfer these edges as well. We don't want that. So pulling back on the height didn't affect the shape of our the smoothness of the railing, so that's okay. We'll do the same thing for the bottom one. That's why I like to keep the modifier and not collapse it to a stack, just in case I do want to make any changes like that at this stage. Now I'm going to throw an edit poly. I'm not going to collapse it in case I want to make any changes again later on, because you never know. I'm just going to loop the edges here. I do that all the time. I try and, I'm lazy, you see. And I try and do a chamfer on an object, and I know that I can't. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. Most times you can't. Most times you've actually got to go in there and select your edges to get it to work properly. So now we can throw a chamfer down. We're taking it from a stack, which is okay. Now what is going on here? Hang on. There is something a little odd going on. Legmark says, no, the Mines of Moria segment of the first Lord of the Rings could be an epic short film all unto itself. Yeah, well, no, that's true. The Mines of Moria is pretty cool. But in The Hobbit, the Goblin Mine, that's pretty cool too. The one where Barry Humphries plays the Goblin King, that's all pretty cool too. And you'll miss that if you don't watch the first Hobbit film. Particularly when they fall down at the end and then the Goblin King is dead and falls on top of them. I guess that's very cool. Legmark says, that is prime fantasy at its best. Android Dust says, I haven't seen any of the Hobbit films, to be honest, though they were just one film. No, they're not. They're 6. So there's 3 in The Hobbit and 3 in The Lord of the Rings. And they're really long. They're like at least 2 hours long each movie. If you get the director's cut, they're even longer. Where they edited scenes out, or didn't edit the scenes out. You should watch them though, they're worth watching. The story is great, you can't beat a Tolkien story. The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are classics of English literature, you really should watch them. Or read the book even better. Although I can't talk, I don't have time to do a lot of reading anymore. I'd rather watch a movie, it's easier. Legmark says, well, Android, if you decide to watch them, get ready for a whole lot of... No, that's Legmog, not true. They're good movies because they're based on a great story. Now, so if you don't want to read the book, they're the best movies to watch to get an idea of the story. They're the most recent versions of it anyway. Don't listen to him, Android Lust. They're worth watching. They really are. Apart from a couple of these visual effects scenes that are bad, the rest of the movies are great. The acting is great as well. Beck says, just read the books, best version of them all. Again, yeah, I would have to agree. If you are not familiar with the Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, read the book if you've got the time. If you don't have the time, then watch the movies by Peter Jackson. But reading the book is always the best way to go. Legbook says, wow, the Goblin King was Barry Humphries. Never knew that. Yep, that was Barry Humphries. Was the Goblin King. Now, I'm just trying to work out what exactly is going on here. I don't have anything split, do I? That is really weird. Why doesn't it surprise me that Max is acting strange? Or is it the operator of Max to blame? It's probably the operator of Max to blame. It just looks to me like it's splitting the seam, which is weird. Or is that just a visual thing? No, it does. It looks strange. It looks like it's splitting it. I don't have that option turned on, do I? There is an option where you can split the mesh when you do a chamfer. Okay, open chamfer. That's generally the option you choose to split it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to use the quad chamfer modifier to see what sort of job that does. Oh no, this is a modifier you buy. It doesn't come with Max. No, look, it's doing the same thing. Andrew Luss says, read a book, Backstation. I need an audio book so that I can do 3D at the same time. There you go. Well, you know that Amazon have a huge range of audio books. Not that I'm here to spruik for Amazon, but yeah, they do. I'm pretty sure you probably find The Lord of the Rings is one of them. Megmog says, if you want the best viewing experience for The Hobbit, just go on YouTube and watch Leonard Nimoy's Song of the Hobbit. I'm not familiar with that, I'll have to check it out. Legmog says, Dank Bill, download Cinema 4D and let Legmog guide you through all these problems. And Beck says, Cinema 4D modelling, yeah. We're really going to be doing that, that's right. I've actually used Cinema 4D many years ago, and it's good, it's a good program. But I love Max. Max is my baby, and my baby is not going anywhere. Android Lust says, I've seen one or two of the Lord of the Rings films. Can't say that I remember it since I was probably just a teenager at the time. Well, there you go. Makes me feel old. Thank you very much, Android Lust, for making me feel old. I'm going to isolate selected toggle. Offset random type in. Let's turn that off. I don't know why that was turned on. I'm just going to deselect, reselect. I just want to look at what's going on with this rail. Okay, we have our edge selected. That should not be a problem. That's all fine. Sniper Girl says, I think your old age makes you feel old. Thank you very much, Sniper Girl. Joking, of course. I know you're joking. It's fine. That's okay. I can take it. I got the thick skin. You guys can be mean. What have we posted here, Legmog in Discord? Joseph Snyder. What is that? Oh, that's the Leonard Nimoy Ballad of Bilbo Baggins. Okay, I'll check that out after the stream. You guys want to check it out now? Jump on Discord. Beck says, it's 2 a.m. and my body is begging for some sleep. See ya. Well, thank you for being here, Beck, and popping in. It was good seeing you. I'll be back on again tomorrow. If you're around and you're awake, pop in tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. But you have a good night's sleep, Beck, and thanks for popping in. Android Last says, see ya. Yes, see ya, Beck. You have a good sleep. I'm going to go selected edges. I already know there's something strange going on here because it's set at 1, but it's not doing a chamfer, which is really weird. Okay, we're going to do a collapse on the stack. I didn't want to do it, but it should be okay to do it. I shouldn't need to revisit this again. So I'm going to collapse the stack. We'll do that and we'll see if that improves the situation because you never know with Max. We still have our edge selection, so that's good. I will check the normals in a minute if we're still getting a problem. Now we're okay. Let me just set it back to quad chamfer. Yeah, now we're still okay. Max can be a bit strange. If you're a Max user, you use the modifiers sometimes Max can get confused, and you saw a good example of it there. Because we had a tube modifier and then we threw an edit poly on top, Max lost its mind a bit and couldn't work out our chamfer. So if you ever run into a problem like that, just collapse your stack back to an edit poly. That cleans out the cleans out Max's memory, let's put it that way, and that should fix any problem we run into. It sort of defeats the modifier. It doesn't happen all the time either, so most times you're safe, but just occasionally you can run into little issues like that. So I'm just going to turn edge spaces off now. I don't need to see them. I want to see my chamfer. It should be good. I just want a bit of a soft edge on those railings. Pardon me. Okay, let's do the bottom rail. I did chamfer that one, so that's okay, but I need to chamfer this one. But we're going to run into the same problem again. So what I'm going to do though first is I'm going to just reduce the edge loops a little bit on the tube, back to 1. And now we can collapse it to a poly. We can select our edges. And throw down our chamfer. This is a narrower piece, so we won't chamfer it up too much. Just a little bit. A little bug near me. Go away, bug. Okay, that should be fine. We just want a little bit of a soft edge there. Okay, so we want to try and make these pieces a bit modular. So we want to allow people to have as many stairs, well, four stairs. I'm going to draw the limit in this kit. They can't have more than 4 stairs, because more than 4 stairs around this little rotunda is going to be ridiculous. I will allow them to have no stairs though, so I will include this railing just as a complete piece. So if for some strange reason they don't want to have steps going up here, who can work people out, I'll give them that option by including the railing as one piece here. But we do need to break the railing up to 2 steps, 3 steps and 4 steps. And we'll have those as separate pieces that people can then place themselves if they so choose. So I think the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to UV map these pieces. So I'm going to send them over to Rhizome UV. Just before I do that, I'm just going to do a save because, you know, you never know. Stuff happens. Now we're going to send it over to Rhizome and UV map it up. And I think this one will probably work for what we want. Let's just check it. Yeah, no, that'll be fine. The only other thing I could do is I could weld these pieces. I'll do that in Max though, I won't do it here. Again, I've noticed this plugin is having issues. This is a free plugin you can download. The guy that wrote it made it available for free, but I have noticed it's not great. There's problems with sending the model between Max and Unfold. Basically what it's done here is it's copied our railing over, and it hasn't actually placed the unwrap on it either by the look of it. No, it hasn't. Let's try that again. Actually, I think the problem is it's part of a group that's causing it to have issues. So I'm going to select that group. And I'm going to ungroup it. Now let's send it over using the plugin. Yeah, it seems to have problems with objects that are grouped. I forgot about that. I noticed that the other day. Let's re-UV map it again. Just double check it. That's fine. Let's send it back. And now we're okay. Yeah. So just again, something to be aware of. If you're in a group and you're using a plugin, whether it's Max, Cinema 4D or Blender, they all have plugins. It can cause issues. Let's UV map the piece at the bottom. If I can select it. Is that the right piece? Yeah, is it? Yeah, I think it is. Or not. No, that's the piece we want. No, it's not the piece we want. That's the piece we want. Let's send that over. Check it. It should be fine. Let's send that back. I'm just going to isolate this piece, and I'm going to do a little bit of tidy up on the UV map manually by throwing down an unwrap. Anything like this, while we could keep it like this when we do our texturing, it's probably better that we stitch these together. And they're going to be these central pieces here. So I'm going to start by moving them out from inside of that circle. Let's go to edge mode. Turn off select entire object. Okay, that one's down there. I'm just going to, I keep forgetting it's got a dialog box up here. I'm just going to stitch these pieces together so they run as one longer piece. I'm not going to stitch all of them together because we're probably going to run out of texture room. But I'm going to stitch a few of them together. No, that's that one. Let's do a different one. Okay, that one's that one, so let's stitch those together. That's those two, so let's stitch those together. Every time I keep forgetting this dialog boxes here. And that's those two, so let's stitch those together. We could keep stitching and stitching and stitching to make one long piece, but again, if we do that, we're going to start to run out of texture space without me scaling the UVs down. If I scale the UVs down, then we're going to start, it's going to affect the resolution of the texture we can apply to it, so I don't want to do that either. But I do want to move it back within our UV space. So we've taken it from 8 pieces to 4 pieces. We still have our joins. Yeah, if I stitch them together, then we're going to have to scale it. We're going to get less resolution. I could rotate it so it's at an angle. We might be able to get it in that way. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Why not? Let's stitch these two together. You can see how long that is though. That's going to pass our 0 to 1 UV space. I know it will, without me scaling it. I don't want to scale it because, again, we're going to lose resolution, so I'm just going to undo that. That's as tight as we can get, really. But we have reduced our seams from 8 to 4. which is better. And 2 really, 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. So that's just what we want. Let's jump out of isolation mode. I want to do the same thing for this one at the top. I could have done this inside of Rhizome UV as well, but I find working in Max sometimes a bit easier. Okay, let's just move those back down into our 0 to 1 space. We could probably combine the texture maps of both the upper and the lower railings too, if we wanted to reduce the number of textures we're using. Let's do that, shall we? Because if we can save some space, then we should do it. Even though, again, it's not going into a game, it's going to be rendered using V-Ray. There's no reason we can't optimize it a little bit. So let's select both of those. I'm going to jump back into isolation. Wrong one. I didn't want the spline, I want the mesh. So the first thing I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach these 2 pieces together. I'm going to do it by an edit poly. I won't collapse the stack just in case I need to come back. So now we're at 1 piece. Let's throw down an unwrap UVW. And let's make some adjustments here to fit all of our pieces in. I think the first thing we'll do is we'll just scale it back a little bit. I'm going to do it on all of the objects so they're all scaled back at the same density, so that the texture density stays the same on all of the different pieces. So then make sure I stay within my lines. Okay, now we've got a problem because they're a bit longer than I'm going to have to scale them back a little bit more so we can fit them all in. I could get Max to try and do a pack for me, that's an option. But I should be able to do it by hand, it shouldn't be too hard. I don't think Max will do a much greater job than I could do by eye anyway. I'm going to move these ones over here. And we'll move these ones over to the other side. And they will fit if I just move them in a little bit more. So that should be good. So we got away with using one texture as opposed to two. Always better. Okay, so let's undo that and take that out of isolation mode. Now, yeah, I want to keep one full circle in case somebody wants to use the terrace just as a full circle on its own. For whatever reason. Who can work people out? People are strange. So if somebody buys it and for some strange reason they decide that they just want to use, they don't want to have any steps, but they want every, they don't want to be able, they don't want people to be able to get up there at all, then they have that option. Sorry, I'm just checking my email here. Okay, so we need to regroup these again. So I'm just deselecting what I don't want. We don't want that. We do want that. We don't want the middle. We don't want any of the column bases either. We don't want that. We don't want that. Let's jump into isolation mode to make sure we don't have anything. We don't want those either. So where are they? Yeah. I think that's good. I don't think we've got anything selected that we don't want. Okay, so let's group it. We're going to call this one full rail. So we UV mapped. Did I UV map the railings themselves? Please tell me I did. Please tell me I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Let's send these over and UV map them. Okay, it wants me to turn it into an edit poly. I decided to keep all the railings as one piece for a UV map as opposed to just UV mapping one and reusing the same texture, because you'll notice that much more easily than having one texture repeated all that many times is really going to be noticeable. So we're going to UV map it as one piece. Now again, this is part of a group. This plugin is going to freak out. So I'm going to stop this in a minute once it works out what's going on. So the first thing I need to do is make sure I ungroup it. We can regroup it afterwards. Now let's send it back. And just wait for it to load in. And now this one. Let's try this one. UV mapping this by hand would be a mega pain. So if I can get this program to do a decent job for me, then I'm happy. I'm just going to turn off those yellow lines so we can see it. It's done a pretty decent job. We'll get a clean texture map out of that. So that should be fine. Let's send it back. Good. Which means these haven't been UV mapped either. No. Edit poly, let's send that over. Let us use... Let's try this one again. Let's check it. We're getting a little bit of stretching happening around here, but not very much. Although we are getting a bit of a problem here and here. Again, they're really small parts of the model. You may not notice it in the texture map. A bit of stretching, a bit of squashing. We could see if any of the other ones give us a better result. So let's undo that. Let's try the first one. Again, this is much worse. So let's undo that. Let's try the next one. Again, too much stretching, too much squashing. Let's try the next one. No, again, not great. We tried that one, let's go to this one. This one's not going to work. And the last one. So the best one was the first one, which is this one here. We do have some options here we can play around with. I don't know that it's really going to be worthwhile for that two small sections that were giving us a problem. Instead of auto, let's try unfold. Let's see what result we get with that. Again, it gives us the worst results, so that's no good. Let's try it by averaging the normals. And that is actually probably a little bit better. We've got more overall stretching happening by those slight light red, but it's not terrible. Go back and go back to the auto one again and see what actually let's try box first. Box is probably what it shows when it shows auto. We have those two areas just here and here. Bit of squishing here. Probably better overall though. Those two small areas we're not really, I think, going to notice on the texture map. It's a complicated piece of geometry for it to UV map too, because it's all over the place. It hasn't done too bad a job. I think that'll be, we'll work with this. Let's send that back. Okay, now I'm just going to copy, I'm going to throw an unwrap down to copy those UVs over. I'm going to copy the modifier and paste it to the others. We may be able to get away with using the same texture map for all of them, or we may just break it up by creating 2 or 3 different texture maps that we can swap in and out. But we'll look at that when we come time to texture it up. We'll make that decision when we texture it up. And we're back at the beginning. Let's regroup it again. Full rail. So now we're UV mapped. We have our full rail. I'm going to copy our railing off to the side because we want to have it as a separate piece that people can use. And now we have to look at making adjustments to this piece. I think the first thing we'll do is we'll start with 2 steps, then we'll do 4 steps, and then I'll come back to 3 steps. So I'm going to make a duplicate of one of the steps. Oh, damn it. Cancel. Group it. Duplicate it. Now I'm going to make a group of these 3 stairs. We'll call it 3 stairs. And I'm going to hide that group if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here we are. Three stairs. Right. Okay, so let's start by 2 stairs. We're creating one with just 2 steps. Even though I do want to, like I said, try and make it like a bit of a kit bash where people can put it together in whatever way they want, I do have to limit it in some way, shape or form. So the 2, the 4 and the 3 steps I think is the best way to go. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Because that's probably how people will use it. Okay, 2 steps. Alright, now I know I'm going to have columns either side here and here. So I want this decorative wrought ironwork to sit just outside of the columns, which will be in these corners. Sniper Girl says, I'm thinking of selling my hobo van. What do you think? Will be my first asset for sale. Yeah, I think you should. Definitely do it. Do it, do it, do it. Look, I'm all for... You guys, you can make some extra income by selling your models. Again, just be careful because they'll probably get stolen at some stage, because that just happens. But definitely I think you should sell it. It's a great looking model and it'll look great textured up, and put it on ArtStation. They've got their marketplace. Sell it there. I mean, I've just started trialing some stuff on ArtStation's marketplace. I don't know how good it is to sell there personally, but it doesn't hurt to try. It's free. There's lots of different places you can sell your work. So yep, do it, Sniper Girl. See whether you like selling online or not. It's not for everybody. Not everyone likes selling their stuff, which is fine. But give it a go, see if you like it. And I think it's a model that a lot of people would like a useful model for a lot of different types of scenes or renders for people. So do it. Okay, yeah, so getting back to this railing. I'm going to have columns in these corners here. So the columns are probably going to come out to about here and out to about here. So I don't want the wrought iron to get too close to the column. So if we have a column there, then we have our wrought iron. Same here, we have a column here, then we have our wrought iron. So that should work well for what we want. Oh, the Unreal Marketplace, I completely forgot about that as well. Sniper Girl says probably also the Unreal Marketplace and Sketchfab Market. Yeah, for sure. Definitely Unreal Market too, because you've kept it nice and low poly, so it'll be great for a game asset. So yeah, I put it on ArtStation because why not? They've got their new marketplace. But yeah, pop it on Unreal's marketplace and Sketch. I'm not familiar with Sketchfabs, but yeah, for sure. If you haven't sold your work before, it's good, and you just want to trial it to see whether you're going to like selling your work. I think it's a good idea. That goes for all you guys and girls watching. If you're doing 3D and you think you might like to sell your work, then I encourage you to do it. Like I said, you're not going to be able to make a living at it selling stuff online, not unless you're incredibly in demand. But certainly you can generate a decent income to supplement your normal income. At least that's what I found over the years. Okay, so a wrought iron work here I think will be fine. Sniper Girl says, I never have a lot of stuff that I can sell. You never know. Do you want to know what the most popular thing I have ever sold online is? And you guys have seen my... let me go to my creative market. That's got most of my models online. And I will show you which one sold the most of all of my models. Of all the ones you see here, where's the one that sells the most? This one. This is the model of all my models, which surprised me, that sold the most. And it's just this gate. All it is some brickwork and the wrought iron. A gate on its own. That's all it is. That is the one that sold the most model. This is the model I've sold the most of online, of all of my models. And I never thought it would sell. I mean, I put it online because I made it for a render that I had to do, and I thought, well, what will I do with it? So I'll put it in my shop. And people loved it. I don't know why. I got no idea. I mean, the model's okay, but I like some of my other models much better than this one. Sniper Girl says that gate is so simple, can go. Maybe that's the reason, because it is so simple. It can go into a variety of different scenes that people want to set up. It's my most popular model by far is that gate. Of all of the stuff I sell, that gate is the most. I've sold the most of that gate over everything. I mean, it's not my favorite model. I've got other models here that I like much more, but that one is the one that sells the most. So. Never think the model you have that you want to sell won't sell. Never assume a model that you think will sell well will, and one you think won't sell well won't. Because I've found that you can't guess people. You can't second guess people. That's just stuff I thought would sell well didn't sell as well as stuff I thought wouldn't sell well. You can't second guess it, so just sell it. Just put it online and see how it goes. It's the easiest way to go. We have to create railings for these small pieces as well, but we can do that once we're finished concentrating on this large rail. Now we don't want the railing to cover our step up from our lower balcony here, lower terrace. We are going to have a column here in the corner, so I need to remove part of the rail through here, but I need to be careful I don't remove too much. So I have to allow enough that it'll reach our columns that we're going to have in the corner. Now the most obvious thing to do would be to put the column there before I start cutting the rail up, but I have a good idea about how big I want the column to be, so I can guess it, and that's what I'm going to do. So I know the column's probably going to take out 3 rails here and probably 3 rails here. So long as I don't go any further this way, I should be fine. So I'm going to open up our group. Let's start removing some of the rails that we're not going to need. To be on the safe side, I'm going to keep it at 2. No, I'm going to keep it at 3. So I'm going to remove these ones through here. Just get an angle here where I can see the full rail. So 1, 2, 3, and here. 1, 2, 3. That should be good. Let's delete those. Let's remove these as well. Okay. Let's remove that one. I'm going to jump into my top viewport. And I'm going to collapse my stack. Do a quick slice through here and through here. Just remove that one and remove those ones. Okay, let's delete that. And make sure we cap our ends here. Now they are going to be hidden inside of the column, but it's good practice to keep everything nice and neat and cap them instead of leaving them open. Okay, now we just have to cut the bottom row. Do we need to cut that? We could leave that there as like a small piece that people step over as they step up over the up onto the second balcony piece. We could either remove it or we could leave it. No, I think we probably should remove it. Yeah. I'm in two minds. No, we should remove it. Otherwise it's a bit weird. So let's do a quick slice here as well. I probably didn't need to slice the mesh up because you can see this actually has quite a few edge loops on it anyway. But it does allow us to get a nice clean cut. Went a little bit too far. Let's remove that. And let's cap our ends. Okay. It should be good. Right, let's do the same thing over here now. So we're keeping 1, 2, 3. We're starting from there. And on this side we're keeping 1, 2, 3. So we're going to there. So let's remove everything between those. Sniper Girl says, how warm is it where you are currently? I can tell you. It is, I think it's 35 degrees. 33 degrees. That's according to the built-in weather thing, but I found that the built-in one in Windows 10 is not accurate. So if I say temp Melbourne, it's 35 degrees Celsius, or in Fahrenheit, 95 degrees. It's just going to get warmer over the next couple of days as well. I think it's getting up over 40 degrees next week as well. Summer in Australia. I hate it. I hate it. So there you go. 95 Fahrenheit, 35 Celsius. That's actually, last week it was 44 Celsius, so it was even hotter again. I think the guys that were doing the conversion said it was like 110 Fahrenheit or something. It was awful, awful. And the lowest temperature at night didn't get below 30 degrees Celsius. So like, 4 o'clock in the morning, where it's normally the coldest part of the day, it wasn't lower than 30 degrees Celsius. It was terrible. And like I said to you guys, I get crabby and cranky when I can't get a good night's sleep. So if I'm a bit crankier than normal recently, it's because of all the hot weather. I can't sleep properly. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. 44C, yeah, that's what it was last week, and it's going to get that hot again next week, Android Lust. 44C. Sniper Girl says, it's 11 degrees Celsius here, going to get down to minus 26 Celsius. Oh, God, half your luck. I want to swap places with you, Sniper Girl. I would love to live where it gets minus 26. I love the cold weather. I hate the hot weather. I'm living in the wrong country in the world, I think, because I hate hot weather so much, and I'm living in Australia, which is one of the hottest places on the planet, I think. I'd love for it to be minus 26. I love the snow. I want to live where it snows. I'm envious of you, Sniper Girl. I am envious of you. I want to live where you live. I hate this weather so much. So much. I was telling the guys before Christmas that I hate it so much that I'm considering moving to Tasmania. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, Australia here, big continent. Tasmania is a little island right down the bottom. I'm thinking of moving there because it's as close as I can get to Antarctica. Because I want the cold weather. We don't get much rain anymore. And Melbourne is just so hot. It never used to be. It's global warming, I'm telling you. When I first moved to Melbourne, which was like, over 10, 15 years ago, because I'm from Queensland, which is up the top of Australia, where it does get hot, I moved to Melbourne because it was cool and it was wet. But now, because of global warming, it's hot and it never rains. So I'm still considering moving to Tasmania just to escape the heat. They have good internet, so don't worry, I'll still be able to stream. But yeah, I hate it so much that I'm even thinking about doing that. I just need the cool. I need the cool. Sniper Girl says, according to Trump, global warming is a Chinese hoax. Oh, Mr. Trump. Because he's such an expert on everything, Mr. Trump, isn't he? Listen, far be it from me to badmouth one of your presidents over there, but wow. I have to wonder about Mr. Trump sometimes. Look, it's not just him. Politicians in this country, the Liberals in this country, not Labor, but Liberal political parties, Republican, Democrat, same sort of thing. They don't believe in global warming either. And that's because all of their mates want to sell coal. You know, they want us to dig up more coal and sell it. Because, you know, their mates own coal mines and stuff. So they don't believe in global warming either. It makes me incredibly angry because you've only got to walk out the door to see it happening. Not just with the hot weather, but with just hurricanes and tornadoes, much more popular and much stronger than they used to be. You know, because of global warming. Android Lust says, I wouldn't even go outside if it's... Well, I don't, Android Lust. When it's 44 degrees, I stick the air conditioning on and I stay inside all day long. I don't go outside. Because the UV will bake you. It's really dangerous for, you know, skin cancer and stuff. You've got to be really careful in Australia because the sun is incredibly strong. So they warn you not to go out during the hottest part of the day, so not between 11 and 4. They advise you to stay inside, drink lots of liquids, all that sort of stuff. Sniper Girl says, yeah, I intended that as a joke. I'm glad. Look, I don't want to offend any of my American viewers. I understand some of you may be supporters of Mr. Trump, and it's not my place to judge him because he's not my president. I live in Australia. That's up to you guys in the US to work out. Not me. So, you know, I'm not deriding anyone. That's politics in America is for Americans. Politics in Australia is for Australians, and I'll bitch about my politicians, but I won't bitch about yours because it got nothing to do with me. Apart from the fact that global warming is real and everyone has to do something about it because it affects the entire world. That's as far into politics as I want to go. Alright, so let's cut this last piece, which is the piece that runs around the bottom. What do they say? You don't ever talk about politics, religion or sex. They're the 3 topics you steer clear of because everybody has their own opinion. And everyone's opinion is usually different. Okay, let's select that. Let's deselect these. Oops, let me just reselect that. Sniper Girl says Phil does 3D, he's the idiot child and sheep. Oh, Trump is the idiot child and sheep, yeah. He does say some very outrageous things. I'll give him that. He's entertaining. He says some outrageous things. Yeah, I don't know what's going on between US and China at the moment, but that doesn't look good either with Huawei. With the officials coming out in your country this morning saying that Huawei have been stealing secrets and stuff. With the China trade talks going on at the moment between the US. Politics in America is for everyone, Android Lust says. Well, everyone has an opinion, I'm sure. My point is, it's just not my place to judge because I'm not an American. It'd be like Americans coming over here and saying, well, this is what I think you should do, who your politician should be and what I think of your politician. And hey, if that's what you want to do, then you do it, but that's not what I do. in politics, people get so, I don't know what's the word, so precious about their politics. It's like, how dare you say something against my president or against so-and-so, or... Looks like I made a bit of an error here with my selection. So before I close this edge loop, I'm going to just tidy up this line. What did I do here? Sniper Girl says, wouldn't doubt it, the Chinese actually stole my personal record from when I was in the military. Oh wow. So yeah, not surprised. I'm not surprised either. You guys know I have my own website, and I go through my logs of my website, and I can tell you there are two places people try and break into my site from, at least. One is Serbia, and the other one is China. It used to be Russia, so it's Russia, Serbia, and then China. So they're trying it on. They can deny it all they want, but just from my own personal experience, I can tell you they're trying it on. They are. I don't want to cast aspersions against all Chinese people, but yeah, I look through my logs and I know that a lot of it is coming from China. People trying to break into my website are coming from China. Let me just deselect those. I was wondering why I was not getting a proper rotation happening. Deselect. Okay. You know, if you've not selected if you've selected more than the verts you want, because when you try and rotate it, you're going to get that problem that I was having. But if it rotates around the vertices you have selected, then you know you're pretty right. And I'm just going to, it's going to be easy for me to do it this way. I'm going to just straighten up my edge here. Now I can go into edge mode and let's cap it. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we've cut out the railing for the first and second stairwell. We have a nice even spacing of our wrought ironwork here between the two terraces. We still kept our original here because we're going to need it when we come to do 4 and 3 steps. But our 2-step looks good. We have to put our columns and stuff in, but we'll do that after we've done all the wrought ironwork. So what I'm going to do is close the group. I'm going to move our group up. Move this one, move this one back. Just make sure we center it up again. So 2 steps done, no steps done, 2 steps done. Now we're going to, I'm just making sure it's sitting on there properly. So now I can group these together. I'm going to call this one What do we call the last one? We'll call this one 2 steps. And I'm going to hide it. We're going to bring back out 3 steps. Why are you doing that? Why you do this? What am I missing? Sniper Girl says, I have free ID theft protect coverage from the government for life as a result, and no, I'm not making that up. I believe you. Time for a save. You are correct, and we may have to call it a day and pick things up tomorrow, I think. Just wondering why I'm not getting my... Okay, it's because we're grouped within... I've noticed with this version of Max, I should be able to hide and unhide everything, but it doesn't unhide sub-objects for some reason. Really weird. Anyway, I'll look at that after the stream. Let's do a quick save. You are correct, Android Lust. We do not want to lose our work. You enjoy my show? I enjoy talking to you guys and girls as well. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, Sniper Girl. But we are going to leave it there for today. We'll pick things up tomorrow. I do want to thank you guys and girls very much for hanging out with me, being here and watching. I do appreciate it. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow and we'll finish fixing up our railing work for our Rotunda Terrace. You guys and girls take care, have a great night, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. See you guys.